What's happening? What's today's day? Excuse the snotty nose. That's a snotty kid, man. December 29th, 2021. December 29th, 2021. December 29th, 2021. I'm repeating it because in a few days we're going to be in 2022. And I have 15 minutes with you guys, roughly 15 minutes. And today's subject is world. WORLD. You know, they got world finance, world news, world schedule, world, just the world itself. What does the definition of the world means? Together with all its country, people, and national features. The earth. All things upon it. Basically, that's, you could define it to that word, but there's so many differences. A world, inhabit of earth. A region or group of countries. I'm not even talking about that, but okay. The world itself. The world is the planet and of all people in on it, or describe the thing that are important to a person. See, a thing that is important to a person. An example of a word is planet Earth. An example of a word is all people who live on Earth. An example of the word is in your family. We're gonna talk about the world. You feel me? What is it about the world? We have the world itself that God created. You know what I mean? We have a world, the world that we supposedly call Earth, that God created, that we live in and everything else like that. And this is, as God created the world is a representation of what God is, including myself, including the sky. So everything that you see around you is a representation of who God is. The good and the bad, you feel me? The awesome, tragic, the brutal, amazing, all of it is part of who God is, as you can see. Then, as human beings ourselves, and as any living creature, that living creature also has the ability to create their own world within a world itself. Relax. So each individual thing itself, you feel me, like water. Let's just take a look at water. I'm not even gonna say human beings. Water has the ability to create its own world in itself. You see me? As you can see, the clouds are a representation of water, but it's expressing itself in a different way. But it's still water, you feel me? Even things that cannot be seen, like evaporation of the water itself, is water itself. Sunlight is a form of water itself, you feel me? Scientifically wise. Ice, that's a form of water. So every living thing has the ability to create its own world within itself, within the world itself that it lives in. And so does a human being. A human being creates its own world. Even the very system that we have. Look at this. Look at where I'm at. I got palm trees, light shining and everything else like that. Anyway, light shining and everything else like that. So the world that we create, the world that has created in front of us, system and everything else like that, it's a creation of our own world, of our understanding of our world. So when we're gonna take a look at God's world, the way He created, how it's self-sufficient, where things are supposed to be thriving. You feel me? It gives you the ability to make your own decision and everything else like that. People choose what they want to do. You can't blame it on God when God already created everything else. Every other animal does not have to work. They happen to find food. Everything itself is sufficient. So you can tell the intelligence of God Himself. You feel me? It is fair and just. It's not saying that bad things are not going to happen, because what's life without obstacles and attribute, all that stuff. What's life without struggle? It wouldn't be life itself. You feel me? So all these things are a characteristics and a representation of the God that we serve. If you believe that God created this world, I mean, if you believe in coincidence, that's a hell of a coincidence that this should just appear on its own. Even a building right here, these materials, which are dead materials, are made out of the earth itself. So the earth, not even, I'm not even gonna say earth, the world, because the key word is world. You feel me? It's to try to make a point, you dig? So the key word is world. So the world that God created creates itself with the ability of us to even create our own world on top of the world that's already in existence. You feel me? It feeds itself. You have to, once you see this, you have to have the perspective to see these things. You have to. You just can't see with these eyes. You see, these eyes are a projection of how you think inside. So you have to perceive, or like the United States itself, right? The United States was an idea that later on became a reality, that became a dream to other people, like I've said in the past. Somebody had to perceive it, you feel me? A group of people had to perceive it, then it was put into work, and that world was brought into existence itself. But I'm talking about the world as a whole, as a system that is running, you feel me? If you take a look at the world itself, let's take a look at history itself. When a person, now we changing it from water to now, water is a living thing to me, to living things now, which is human, because we got to get to the human factor of it, because I'm trying to make this video very short. Now we take it to a person who has the ability to create their own world. Sometimes we, the United States, sometimes we go into other people's world, and when we leave, we don't make it any better than the way we left it in the first place. You feel me? Let it pass. Let it pass. I said sometimes. And in other times, we went to other people's world. Like, we can take a look at Israel and Pakistan. You feel me? Like Israel. Look at what Israel has done so far with the help of the United States. That's a great accomplishment. But when I take a look at a place like Iraq, that's like devastation that hasn't even, you feel me? It's still a work in progress, but it's still not there yet. So, you're present in somebody else's world. If you are the authority, because God is the authority. He's already created his world. We are supposed to serve him. So if you are benefiting of his world, overall, this is a beneficial earth. You feel me? Because we can take anything out of this already forever existence and make something great out of it. You can choose to do bad, or you can choose to do good, or you can choose to be both at some time. I mean, it goes both ways sometimes. You feel me? But at the same time, we are just. You feel me? We are righteous people. You feel me? We do bad sometimes and we do good sometimes, but you don't judge yourself. You feel me? This is the world that God created. This shows a characteristic of the Lord that we are, that he's a very forgiving, a just God, a merciful God, as many times has been called. So now we gotta take a look at our world, because we are a representation of him. If he created the world as it is, then that means that since I'm a representation of him and he created me in my own image, that means I have my own world too. So if I step into any situation, I'm bringing my world into it. So if I am the authoritarian, that means I'm supposed to have a positive impact on that world that I'm stepping into. You feel me? This is the reason why I went into even let's take a history of when the Moors went to Spain. They taught Spain a lot of things like culture and everything, and those buildings still stand up to this day. So when they brought their world into that place, guess what happened? That place benefited for a very long time. We're talking about arts and everything else, writings and all that stuff. It benefited from that. You feel me? We can even take a look at another world from the past, which is the putting together of the Bible itself, which has helped generation and generation over and over and over. We can take a look at the internet world. Some people made a lot of money off it, and it destroyed a lot of lives. So world, we meet world every day. A world is an interaction between two different worlds. And one that has the most influence is supposed to benefit you in the long run. We're not saying you're not going to have no bad times. You're going to have some bad times. But the overall consumption of that world is supposed to make you a better person. You feel me? Look at what God has created. Food, fruits, birds, These things are sounds that's supposed to soothe you. The color green itself, as you can see right here, green is a vibration of good feeling. You feel me? So it's constantly, look at the birds in the background. So it's constantly massaging and therapeutic. It's massaging you as things goes on. You feel me? This is the world that we supposed to be a representation of. But if you are an individual, a group of individuals, that every time your world come into interact with another person's world, and people start getting sick, you feel me? People degrade. People are not what they used to be. Hold on. What does that tell you about that person in their world? Your world. We are a representation. The United States also have flaws when it comes to the African Americans, as you can see. This is a representation. You are a representation of the things that you create. So that's something that you cannot shy away from, because you bring in your world and you have influence. I've been having gas lately, so a lot of time I'll be burping and shit like that. Yesterday it almost stopped me in the track of my jogging. You know what I mean? Because there's so much gas. I'm like, God damn, nigga. So your world is you see, your kids are members of your world. So your wife and kids go out there, they are a representation of what you are as a person. You feel me? So they're representing your world, your portrait out there in the open itself. So they're supposed to represent you in a good light. You feel me? But if you as a person or group, y'all know who I'm talking to, every time y'all come in contact with anything, y'all seem to destroy it. Y'all seem to make people sick covertly. Y'all know what y'all doing. You feel me? What does that say about your world when I'm walking in your world and I see? You feel me? Although you don't have the influence in other people's world, but you still have an impact on other people. You feel me? We are a world within a world. It's our responsibility to make sure that if you want to change the world, you have to change your world first. Because you are always in contact with other people. We like cells within the cell. You feel me? So we are constantly working with each other. We have to work with each other. So why are you being so disruptive? And why do you have to attack everything that you place your hands upon? This is the message. What is your world providing to others? Because it's obvious you're not providing nothing sustainable. You can't even feed the conscious. Look at this world. This world has been feeding men before us. We reading about men in the Bible way before we was here. You feel me? Like, it's still feeding niggas. You feel me? The world was destroyed. They claimed the world was destroyed, but the world revived itself. That's what your world is supposed to represent. Your knowledge, your compassion, your empathy. Everything else is supposed to be part of your world too. You're supposed to uplift people. You feel me? Yeah, there's gonna be some times you spaz out and everything. That's part of life itself. Tornadoes happen. You have hurricanes that happen. It's unexplainable sometimes. But it's part of the change. It cannot be explained. Your world is supposed to be a representation of these things. But yet, every time you come around, you see the devil have his own world too. He's made it vividly clear what his world is. It's to steal, kill, and destroy. It's been described already. These are the foundation, or these are the cause of his world. His world is to destroy what is so that it can build up on what is to come. You feel? The devil never wants to have what is already. He always wants to create his own, but yet don't know how to create his own. You feel me? And this is who you are. You need to check yourself. You feel me? You as in people, not just individuals. Not just an individual. You as in individuals with an S at the end. But this is not just pertaining to one person. It's pertaining to groups of individuals. You feel me? Show me something good that you have done, that your world came in contact with something else and you did something good. I'll be waiting. Show me. You feel me? We're not talking about when the first humans met the Neanderthals. Even that story is very shaky. You feel me? These are all just theories and everything else like that. Show me something that your world have done. Show me. Or is it the word of the world? Is it the war of the world? Are you just bringing your world? Is your world just war? Is your world inspiring like words? Is it? I gotta go, man. You already know, man. You gotta talk to them like that. Because their world is very devastating and poisonous. Literally. Because all they bring is manipulation, distraction. You feel me? There's nothing good out of their world. What are they providing? You feel me? Look at me. Look at what I've been dealing with when I came in contact with their world. Have I become a better person? Or am I degrading? Or am I fighting every day harder and harder, and the battle doesn't even make sense anymore? So you can take a look at my situation and look at the world that they're bringing into. You feel me? Take a look at them. You know what I mean? If you come in contact with anybody, you're supposed to be a better person, especially if that person claim to have authority. Authority can be you just being outnumbered, or the people have better resource, or they providing you with something. You feel me? Or they can be in a position to teach you something. So we take a look at me. Have I regressed, or have I upgraded due to my own strength, or due to what they've been providing you? So every time you meet somebody, remember, they bring their world into you. You have to see it for what it is. You in a relationship, you're like, okay, we've been in a relationship for 10 years, 5 years, few months. Has this person upgraded me, or am I downgrading? Am I spending more money on this person? Am I paying too much attention to this person? Is this person taking too much from me? You feel me? When you take a look at my situation, you can tell ever since we got in contact with these niggas, it's a few decades ago, you feel me? I wouldn't say I've been degrading, you feel me? But it's been a struggle. Constantly have to fight, constantly have to explain yourself, constantly bringing other people into the situation. They can never handle their own world affairs. You feel me? When you start seeing these signs, just know that this world right here, that world is not good for you. This is the reason why you gotta drop all other worlds and be part of the world that God already created that's already in existence, which is in you. Like, this world itself is already in you itself. You just projecting the world out. You feel me? These are good attributes of you. It's part of who you are. You can take this as a blueprint to how you can understand yourself better. You feel me? Look at the mountains in the background. This is what you can take. You can take that as a blueprint so you can understand yourself better. You feel me? Anyway, man, if they're not, how does it go? If they're not uplifting you, they're slowing you down. You feel me? I gotta go change and all that stuff. You already know.